85% of our learning are learnings that happen after a failure. Now, karon, pag mag-fail, magluod man ay ka, di dahil ka magpakita. Bro, you missed it, my friend.
Agay!
This is science. That 85 of the learn. So kung ikaw, pila naman mo katuig sa iyo sana, huwag mo ko'y learn. Alangan ka na fail mo, mag ka. Nga mauna man tatong time na receptive kayo ka to learn.
Tago pa more.
Hello? O yung ka, ay okay na di ay, nadaghan ka ay kung nag-fail before. O okay, kaya na at least napakadiri. Pero, hinumto ba, katong talang failure, tago dayon, may mga mistake, tago dayon, lood dayon, and all. You never maximize your learning when in fact your brain is more receptive to learning after a failure. Think about it. All the best lessons, nagibawon-bawon mo sa mong kinabuhi karon, actually happened after a failure. Hello? You get that? That is why as well, ang mga tao na ay bad kayo na relationship with failure. That's why they don't learn through their failures. But life is designed that way. It was never designed to be perfect. In other words, this journey would look like this. Up, down, and then up again, and then down. Ang problema kay mag-down man. Pero kailangan bitaw ni mga up, down, kung tago na pugka, up, down, magsige nagka-us-us, down, 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 down. You get that? It's up, down, up, down, up, down, but you need to translate failure into feedback. Are we here? Yes. Translate failure into feedback so that you can learn from it. Don't call it failure, call it feedback. Are we here? Yes. And this is also where your uplines, the role of your upline could come in. But not only that, but for them to really have an idea of how to turn a failure into feedback. In a study that I've done, and it's a current study, we have created what we call the expanded iterative coaching model. Okay? And nagpa-expand, nagtabang sa ko, expand aling itong patalon nga na because he's doing his master's now. And he gave me an idea that I have incorporated in a study that I did in 2020. Alright? That's iterative. It's actually an expanded model of the iterative coaching model that I created in 2020 in a study, which is actually vision-based coaching, and then allowing people to have small wins after each failure, and then small wins even in the midst of success, to get people in that same trajectory para magkaroon ng sustainable success. Are we here? Yes. Importante kayo makabalugyo ka mo coach as a leader. Nga ang learning will not come from you, dictated by you, but you draw it out from the person who just failed. And if you succeed, you will also draw it out from the person, so that whether it's success or failure, the learning continues and the person continues to grow. In other words, the kind of learning that leads to sustainable success is the learning that is moving. It requires movement, in other words. So, dili siyang learning at a classroom. Wala siya inabot. Kailangan kayo ang feeling there, yes. Right? But it's a very safe place. The real learning will happen after you apply what you have learned here and you go out there. And then you try it, you experiment, and then you fail. And then when you fail, you rise back again and learn from your failure. That's where the real learning is. Ang problema, ay nga pag-design sa itong training curriculum, ideal perspective. Ideal outcomes, right? That's why, guba tanan ang atong plano na i-deliver nga training curriculum kay itong ideal outcomes tanan. Unya mga tao, magiging kapila man ang mag-fail bago usa na makuha ang ideal. Yes or yes? So that's where you come as a leader who is not just a leader but also somebody who knows how to coach. Why? Because when you do that through a process that's not linear, then eventually that movement, alright, kanima movement will create sustainable transformation in the person. Dili lang results, right? Naay results, kasaka, but naay sustainable transformation, and sustainable transformation in the person will lead to sustainable success. Mo nag-iingon ni Method ganiya, be plus do is equal to have. So sustainable transformation is the part where being and doing is being transformed. And so ma-transform po ang size mo success, which is your having. And in fact, even more than having. But look, sustainable transformation leads to sustainable success through learning by movement. But here, everybody, listen to me. Yes. But the reason why a lot of people don't like this kind of learning by movement is, ask me why. Why? Because every movement demands pain. In fact, the higher you move up, the painful it will be. Testingin kong saka o gagdanan, physically, saka ka. Wala pa kayo pain sa sugod. Pero habang taas na kayo mong dinasaka, sakit na kayo mong tiil. Sakit na kayo mong lawas. The higher the movement is, the higher the pain as well. And that's exactly the reason why only very few people become successful. Because they don't like pain. And the reason, perhaps, why you are not as successful as you want to be, because you missed the learning in times of failure. And that you stayed at home na lang, in the security of your homes, when in fact, that is where you're supposed to be moving, ladies and gentlemen. But the reason why you're not moving up is because you don't like the pain. But for as long as you're alive, you will experience pain. Are we here? Because the only place where pain is absent is the cemetery. And you don't want to be there. God bless. Thank you.